This video was brought to you by Established Titles. You've probably heard a lot of Batman theories over the years. Conclusions drawn from what is evident in the movies, comics, TV shows, etc. and so forth. You know, like Batman's actually insane and he's in Arkham or whatever, imagining everything. Or Batman actually kills the Joker in The Killing Joke. Or Batman doesn't really want to save the city because if he did, he'd strictly fund social programs and work more towards criminal reform and raising people out of poverty. Instead of, I don't know, waiting till somebody robs a bank out of desperation and then he beats them up. You get it, you've heard a bunch of these. And you're probably wondering, why am I watching this? I feel like I've been baited into playing this video. I was just kind of blankly browsing YouTube and I ended up here. But stress less, because these theories I'm going to discuss, I've tried to keep more obscure, hopefully some of which you haven't heard before. I guarantee at least 3 of these, no, let's keep it real, at least 2 of these you haven't heard before. And in preparation of having your mind blown, you need to leave a like, because you will be a stuttering mess afterwards, unable to perform even the most basic of functions after your mind is blown. But first, it would be remiss of me if I didn't put the sponsored ad spot in here, because I have to, it has to be near the start of the video. Don't leave though, it's a good one, you might like it, just wait. Now, you've probably figured by now that, yes, I am an Australian, but like a lot of Australians, my family lineage is nothing. I'm a descendant of convicts and thieves. Just absolute dirtbags. I'm a mutt, a nobody. My tombstone will read, you know what, there will be no tombstone. My body will be rolled into a ditch on the side of an abandoned highway. At least it would have been, until now. Through Established Titles, you are able to purchase as little as 1 square foot of land on a private estate in Ardally, Aberdeenshire, Scotland, so that you can refer to yourself officially as a lord or lady. No more highway ditch for my dead body. I'm a lord now. Along with the unique plot number, which you can see the exact location of your land, you receive an official certificate with crest. And here's something nice. A tree is also planted with every order, as this program works with the global charities One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future to support global reforestation efforts. Makes a great gift, even at the last minute. They even have couple packs that come with adjoining plots of land. And you could then officially change your name to Lord or Lady, and then get it on your credit card, or plane ticket, or tombstone, because you're not in a ditch, you have a tombstone, or Blockbuster video store membership. You know, if you ever find yourself tumbling through time and space back into the 90s. Hell, chuck it on your dating profile. That's a conversation starter, isn't it? I don't know. And here's something exciting. Established Titles is running a big sale right now. So right now, if you use the code SUNDAY, you get an additional 10% off. Just go to establishedtitles.com/Sunday to get your gifts now. You can do it right now. You should do it right now. Why don't you do it right now? Get one for yourself. Get one for a friend or loved one. Get one for your enemy. That way, when you eventually vanquish them, you'll be like, I vanquished a lord. Oh man, that would be, that's the dream right there, isn't it? All right, let's do some theories. Gotham sucks. Intentionally. Let's start with the idea that there is a method to Batman leaving Gotham as a crime-ridden, bloated, and grimy nightmare of a city. He's been throwing his elbows into the top of people's heads for decades, and the city's only seemingly gotten progressively worse since he appeared. Well, what if that's by design? What if Bruce Wayne was like, right, bad people are inevitable, so what if I created the ultimate cesspit that cultivates criminal activity? That way my city, you see he thinks it's his city because he's rich. That's a bit of social commentary there for you. Yeah, this video has depth, but that way my city would lure in the worst of the worst. They can run amok, make their little gangs in various outfits, heist diamonds for lasers and the like. But in a way, they're all contained. Gotham is like one larger prison. No other city in the DC universe is quite as awful, because most people who are terrible are drawn to Gotham or stay in Gotham. So Batman's thinking overall might just be, better to ruin one city than all of them. And then when other superheroes try to come in occasionally, like Superman, he's like, get out of here, Superman, this is my city, you're in my space, Superman, you better not come in. Superman, you get out of here. Go on, get out of it. Robin is a Batman failsafe. There are many theories as to why the heck Batman would take on a teenage boy as a sidekick. There's been official theories along with various fan speculation over the decades, including that he adds a bit of humanity to the operation. If Batman's performing a beating, a child with a conscience might say, hey, maybe don't hit him that much. He could also be a distraction. If you're a superhero running from gunfire, there's a 50% chance that you won't be shot if there's two of you. Maybe it's as simple as he wants a little friend to talk to, and at the same time help him beat up a big crocodile man. I love the idea though, like how Batman has a contingency plan in place if any of the Justice League members go rogue. Robin is that for Batman. It would not only be that he's training each of them to be a physical match, but they also have access to everything Bruce Wayne is and does. They know his identity. They got all his weapons and tech, all his computer files. They know where his bed is, so they could hit him in the head with a rock when he falls asleep, if the situation called for it. Robin could be the last line of defense if a man as dangerous as Batman ever decides to go on a murder spree. I mean, probably. None of this is a theory and none of this is real. Alfred killed Bruce Wayne's parents? Alfred Pennyworth took it upon himself to raise little boy Bruce Wayne as his own after the tragic death of Thomas and Martha Wayne. Why? I mean, for one, it's a pretty sweet gig. Do some ironing, pour some tea, collect a 7-figure salary? He wouldn't though have to have set up the murder of them for job security. That was pretty much assured. But maybe he would if he was in love with one of the Waynes. But not both! Maybe he's the kind of person who would organize a hit on the person in the way of his true love, then the whole thing goes south and they both end up dead. I say that he's in love because, not many other ideas would fit this outcome. He doesn't need the money, and I doubt he's ever going to go after Wayne Enterprises, because after they're dead, he doesn't make any further moves to take over. He's just happy stitching wounds and being like, something witty retort about your nighttime activities, Master Bruce. To which Batman responds, I have nothing to say to that because I do not banter, Alfred! You know this! The Riddler is why Batman and Robin is so silly. Batman and Robin is considered to be the silliest of Batman movies, even more so than the 1966 version, which is, look, that just might be true. But what if I told you that's because of one James Carey's Riddler from the previous movie? Batman Forever is camp and over the top, sure, but not to the extent of its follow-up, and it also still carries over some of the darker tone from the Burtonverse. And in that movie, the Riddler invents a device that's basically a screen that sucks all the intelligence out of you. Sounds like bloody social media! Ha ha ha! 1984, am I right? That's a bit more biting social commentary there for you. Anyways, at the end of the movie, the machine is destroyed, but we don't see any of the smart thoughts and feelings then return to the people of Gotham, which I guess could explain why everybody is so stupid and giddy in the next movie. Even Bruce Wayne went into that machine, and by the next time we saw him, he'd installed ice skates into his boots, which is it proved useful that one time, but he would have been running around with spring-loaded ice skates in his boots for years. Unless he's kicking people in the face with them, giving them a bunch of scars. And speaking of, Scarecrow created the Joker. This one is specific to the Dark Knight universe created by one Christopher Nolan. So it seems as if the appearance of Batman drew out a number of masked kooks, most famous of which probably being the Joker. You've no doubt heard the theory that his background is actually in military intelligence, hence his proficiency in interrogation, rocket launches, and sliding down a big pile of money. But what if he was all those things? You know, a vet who returned home from war, and he was also living in the Narrows, just trying to exist, when a bunch of civilians were doused with fear toxin. And what if a combination of his existing PTSD and a mind-altering poison created this new kind of supervillain? It could explain why the first signs of him appeared at the end of Batman Begins, and also why he has no criminal record, and why he has no regard for human life, because perhaps he literally views everybody in the world as a monster. And of course, why he has absolutely no fear. He never even flinches. He's willing to blow himself up, or get shot in the head, or be hit by a big bike that's popped out of a car, and perhaps even put on a silly voice and makeup, like the most irritating cosplayer you know, with zero self-awareness.
I'm the Joker, baby!
John Blake was the Joker's son? So John Blake lost both his parents at a young age, ending up in a Gotham orphanage at age 9. He then met Bruce Wayne as an orphan around the time of Batman Begins and knew instantly that he was Batman because they had the same feelings or facial expressions or something, and then they didn't cross paths again till about 8 years later when he was a man in his, let's say, mid-20s-ish. Now, ignoring Heath Ledger's actual age at time of filming, in most of these theories, you have to ignore a bunch of evidence to the contrary. I hope you've been ignoring stuff because I've been just ignoring so much stuff, oh my god. But let's say the Joker is in his mid to late 30s in The Dark Knight, which is set right after Batman Begins, when John Blake was in his early to mid-teens. Then technically, I guess it would be possible that he was his father who was thought to have been shot and killed as the result of a gambling debt. But maybe he wasn't killed and became a Joker. I mean, they do share some characteristics. Angry to their core, putting on a mask either literally or figuratively to hide who you are. Both are also clever and resourceful, and also they kind of look similar. Bit of a stretch this one, but I'm happy to say this is 100% true, and I will not change my mind. Just try and make me. I will just dig my heels in. I am as insufferable as I am immovable. Batman is a bully. You'll notice in most mediums, Batman will often use a villain's real name or original name as opposed to their superhero persona. Not exclusively, because remember, we are ignoring stuff. You know, Killer Croc is generally just Killer Croc. Joker is Joker. Also, probably because he doesn't know his real name. But then you got Catwoman, who's Selena. Penguin is Cobblepot. Mr. Freeze is Victor. Two-Face is One-Face. A lot of the time, it would seem he's doing this to touch on any humanity that might be left in a person. An attempt to appeal to their better nature. But I like to think he uses it to throw them off, disorientate them, make them even angrier, so then they're more likely to get riled up and make a mistake. And then he could just punch them, which is cool and rad. Talking is for nerds, and I am not here for it. Now, this is the point in the video where we could just keep on rolling with theories, you know? Batman is actually the one who gave the Joker his scars. Batman actually does have a superpower. It's his inhuman will to keep going. The Batman and Joker are brothers or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. But here's one. The Batman 2022 is DC's backup plan. Not my idea, but what about this? Maybe the Batman was greenlit in a time when Warner Brothers and DC were uncertain about their future plans. I mean, not initially, it was supposed to be a Ben Affleck movie, which he starred in, directed, and wrote. But then Ben Affleck was like, I don't know, man, I don't want to direct a Batman movie, and I don't want to be Batman. And then Warner Brothers would have been like, oh shit, well, at least we've got Joss Whedon on Justice League to continue the universe. Oh no, everyone hates this. Okay, look, people seem to like that Aquaman movie. That's good. And also Wonder Woman. It's doing well. But what about Superman? None of the movies he's been in have made $1 billion. I've got it. How about we do nothing with Superman? Cinematically, at least. Or even better, what if we obscured his face whenever he makes an appearance from here on out? Do you think anyone would notice that, do you reckon? Oh my God, we forgot we don't have a Batman right now. Let's talk to Michael Keaton about coming back and taking over. Wait, how old is Michael Keaton? Can somebody Google that? Born in 1951. Oh God, that's not gonna work for very long, is it? Okay, look, take a 3D scan of his face so we can use him when he's dead, because we gotta think more long-term about this. All right, what if we created this new Batman continuity? We'll call it the Batman, and this exists in its own universe. None of that multiverse shit. I don't even get that. Perhaps we market this also to make it look like, you know, like those gritty Nolan movies. People like those. Those made $1 billion, those movies. Some of them. Oh, and people also like the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker now. I guess, you know, we could have multiple universes, including the TV stuff. And also maybe the Zack Snyder cut, which people seem to like. But, you know, financially, I guess it didn't go so well. But we did put it to streaming. Maybe that was a mistake. Jeez, God. Should we commit to this Zack Snyder thing? I mean, people seem to like it, but what a thoroughly annoying fan group those people are. By the way, that's Warner Brothers saying that. All of this is. I think Snyder fans are cool. Fuck it! Let's do it all! The Snyderverse. The Justice League is real too. Why not? The Batman. And whatever the Joker universe is. Can we tie that into something else? Can that be a prequel to like the Batman? Maybe, not really. Joker 2, anybody? Let's get that moving. That made $1 billion. At least one of these have to stick in the long term, right? Okay, cool. We're doing all of it, I guess. Anyways, this has been a video. Did you watch it? I mean, I guess you did, unless you skipped to here, in which case I have questions about your media consumption habits. But get this right. You might have seen most of these were credited to Reddit users. I initially started at various websites, you know, your standard listicles and the like. Unlike this listicle, this is completely different, I think. And lo and behold, every theory could be traced back to a Reddit user. Huh, fancy that. Anyways, if you liked any of this, we have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. That comes out every Monday, actually comes out a day early and ad-free over at bigsandwich.co. We've definitely got a big The Batman episode coming your way. Big Sandwich, by the way, that's like our own Patreon service that we built. There's thousands of hours of bonus content on there, including exclusive podcasts, early videos, and movie commentaries. We recently did one for Batman 1966, and that was a blast. Anyways, thanks for watching this. I appreciate it. Take care.